going on here? Three ways all in. Fuck, he has the sixes. Right. Rebuy, you bastard. You'd hate to be colourblind, I tell you what. You'd fucking miss this one. I'm optimistic, boys. I'm optimistic. We're going to have a good amount of Jack X there that wants to play that line. Get it through. I'm actually going to pure check raise this because I think people will see bet range and then not find the necessary low EV barrels on an A-side board. Fold. Fold. Ew. But I've seen worse. There were some whales out there. We are going to go have some fun today, ladies and gentlemen. Continuing on from last week, we're going to go suss the environment around us, more geared towards the online environment today. I'm going to jump in a bunch of different pools across a few different sessions to suss out what these conditions are like. Where is the money up for grabs? There'll be a bunch of strat tips along the way, and then we'll go through and systematically rate each environment that we find ourselves in. We'll be keeping an eye out for that rake. Of course, a big factor. How much are those bastards pinching from us? Losing players, breaking these up into whales, or just your generic wreck. How many people are punting off? Without a doubt, the most important factor, the money that's being lost on the site, is what is up for grabs for the professionals and the sites themselves. Winning players, again, breaking them up into two categories, weaker and stronger. Are we being put in tough spots? Are we being made to fight for it? Or can we really just sit back and relax and catch the money for the wrecks? And the site conditions, as we know from last week, a low factor on our priority list. We're prioritizing actually making money, which those first 3 points actually deal with. These are more an aesthetic / comfort, safety consideration, which does matter, but certainly low down there on our list of priorities. Number of games available to play, the software, regulations. Basically, is it a pleasure to play on said site? Site number one, we're going to refer to as Join the Broker. It might rhyme with something. I'm not going to name any of these sites. I have no affiliation. I'm not asking you to go play on them. Just showing you guys what's out there and you can make the decisions for yourselves. The rake on said site seems very reasonable. Have a quick look for yourselves. Pause if you like. I was having a read round and it seems we can get up to 33% of our rake back if we meet some conditions. I'm sure it's just some volume requirements that you have to meet over a set period. 50 an hour, much better than that site we analyzed last week, and it scales all the way up to the higher stakes where it gets progressively better and better, which is what you want to see. This 2.5 big blind rake at 100 an hour seems perfectly reasonable. They have to make some money, we understand. Anything beyond 4, it starts to become a little questionable if it even is beatable. At the 25 an hour, I think we're paying 7 blinds per 100 cap. Pretty tough. Obviously the game's going to be incredibly soft, but tough to see any of you guys grinding an hourly rate in a rake environment like that. Build yourselves a bankroll, throw yourselves into the 50 NL Streets Plus if we're actually grinding to try and make some money. Enough of the nonsense. Let's get stuck into the tables. Just scrolling through the lobby here, there seems to be a decent amount of action. It is 1:30 p.m. here in Melbourne on a Thursday afternoon, so around 8 p.m. in LA, 11 p.m. in New York. For reference, we've got about 4 or 5 running 200 games, similar amount of 100 games, and a bunch of 50 games. Seems more than feasible. We're going to jump into the action and see what it's like. We're in the mix here, waiting for some games. Ended up just jumping in the 200 pool because there was a seat open and it seemed to be a decent game with a short stacked who appears to be a wreck, which is a good early sign, guys. Another decent sign, we've opened sat the 51. No one really knows who we are and we haven't just been swarmed on other easily accessible sites. If you do that, it's like there's just seat scripts and you have to prove to them that you're not some sort of whale before they back off. Something about that says that it's, you know, it's not going to be just some completely AIDSy, bot-ridden and germy, reg-ridden pool. So we'll see. Good news early, lads. This guy is VPPing basically 100% since we sat down, putting in money regardless of the pre-action. So whales about early. As we said, they're going to be massive to our bottom line. People that are putting in significant amounts of money bad. What is going on here? Three ways all in. Fuck, he just has the sixes. Right. Rebuy, you bastard. He fucked off, I think. Yeah, he did. Incredibly tilt. For some reason, we can't choose our preferred seats. You just kind of have to deal with it, that you're in different seats. Like, you just time out because I'm expecting to look at my hand here. There's no hand. All of a sudden, we have some, like, premium up in the corner. Bad luck. Missed your jump. Pretty sick run out here with the A7. We just have a clear raise here versus all the other 2 pairs and ace-x that you could have potentially caught. Sick river up here in the heads up hand. We have heaps of floats as well, heads up, so we can actually go pretty wild here. Just like that, boys, we're in the action. I think we might actually bounce out of this 1-2 game if we get the chance, just so we can assess the pools individually. Fair enough for him calling there. Like, we're going to check raise a bunch of our flush draws, so it kind of appears like we're going to be void of value. Plenty of like ace high spade, jack high spade, maybe like under pair spade that could potentially bluff. Definitely fair enough bluff catch from the big fella. Haven't really played a whole lot in anti-pools, guys, so my ranges are going to be a little bit off. So excuse me for making some errors around the marks here. We're going to jump in there, see what we can do, but don't crucify me if I miss some easy continues, because I've played with no antis all my life. Going to be getting in there wider, mixing it up a bit, which I'm kind of looking forward to, actually. Getting in there playing some fucking hands. Any day now, big fella. Quantum tell. He's probably in the same spot where he's in a seat where he can't see his cards, so he's like, fuck. Let's not do anything. Now, this is where I'm going to be shaky. Ace 10 off in this spot probably needs to continue with those antis in some fashion. I'm going to mostly play 3-bet folders, so I'm going to go for it. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty well in play. Especially if the big fella's almost timed out. You wouldn't have thought that he would have a big hand when that's the case. We can squeeze this 5-4 suited down the bottom left. Just with the tank fold. Strong play. Turn a little straight here, do we? You would hate to be colorblind, I tell you what. You'd fucking miss this one. We're going to be bumping this one up, I reckon. Very merged. Lots of second best stuff. Really want to be driving action. It's actually not that bad a result if you get some folds. So yeah, we're clicking our bottom straight up here. Playing for all the money, probably, if he sticks it in on us. Still going to be sets, 2 pairs, combo draws that we can beat. Plenty of bluffs for us here too, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get paid. Coming out of the big blind on such a draw heavy board, we can easily have pair plus draw. And the bastard does. Okay then. Do we want to go with this? Is he going to be rejigging like sixes? Probably not. He probably is mostly polled 10-9. Maybe some merges with the sets. A bunch of bluffs. So I think we do just call on clean rivers. It's not a clean river by any fucking means. Fuck me. He's blocked into us, so like he could just have some sort of random like sevens here, right? Yeah. Nice read. Maybe we should have stuck it in the bastard's face on the turn, but pretty thin from him when we have all the combos of straights. Guess we will be doing it with some 2 pairs. We've checked back flop here and he's gone pot. I think we are going to call with our pair plus gutter. Plenty of potential bluffs in like singular club combos coming out of the big blind. I don't even know what we fucking have. Again, you'd hate to be fucking colorblind. Jesus Christ, you can't see this thing. And it bricks off. The man continues for half pot. I don't see us folding here. Like, unknown. He's playing 100% of hands. He can just have like random fucking jack 10 with no club. Let's have a look. Completely unfiltered range. Merge off. Lovely to see. We're playing against some pardon my French. We're playing against some unintelligent people. 7-9 of hearts would be pure defending in theory when we're opening this wide into antis, so I guess we'll get in there and battle. Nice flop. It's pretty mad what happens when you play in these new pools. You tend to wonder, this is very fish talk, but like, are they just reeling you in? Just smash flops for the first like 500 hands we've played on this side. Are they just sucking us in? Now you would probably play some raise here, and there probably are 2 merge when they take this size. So I think I am actually going to jig this one up to like something like this. So I think he's too merged. I think he has overpairs and high equity draws too much when he c-bets this size, unless he's a good player. Yeah, cheers, thank you. King 9-0, seems kind of fair enough. That one will be ours, and that one will be ours, thank you very much. Alright, we're out here. Sorry again, I don't really know what I have because we're sitting in fucking random seats. Are there any random fish in this game? Probably not. No thanks. Alright, we're back. We're set up, okay? We're set up. We're getting used to the software. Give me a break. Queen 7, a hearts, I'm pretty sure it's folded to me. It's just kind of, it's tightly aged to look at, isn't it, the software? There's a lot going on. I know we're using a HUD, but it's just not clean. And that's something we're going to have to learn to deal with because the game seemed to be pretty decent. What happened over here? Old mate with 7-3 off, eh? 7-3 off, polar mistake at a big blind. Alright, we'll let this one go. You guys have your fun. There's 3 of diamonds. I imagine it's pure folding in this config. I did have a look at these ranges earlier on. Now, no antis, higher rake. You'd mix fold with this hand, but I'm pretty sure we pure continue, maybe mixing some 4-bet. This guy is, no, he's actually one of the tighter rakes. Probably still finding a decent amount of 3-bets there, so we're going to continue pure. Call me wild. We would also mix some like basically min check raise in on a board like this. For hands like pocket eights, gonna mostly call that. When it goes min call, you're supposed to be continuing with shit loads of hands. I was really surprised with those ranges. I folded Jack 10 once and it was like well in play. What happened? You say something to us? You talking shit, bro? No. I'm imagining things. Obviously, horrible river. Range is going to be pretty dense in fucking ace king. Didn't even consider the thin value there. Not even like a thought. So this guy is, I'm pretty sure this guy is just a weak reg. And there's many of these guys, yeah, you're not going to have a good rig tag, so bro, I'm going to have to downgrade you. Hope you're not watching. I'm optimistic, boys. I'm optimistic. I thought that a site like this, as accessible it is to any man with an internet connection, it would be tough. We're playing 100 hour, don't get me wrong. We're playing small, but the regs don't seem to be tough and there seem to be fish and the rake is reasonable. That equals we have a spot. Can mix in check back here. Actually want to mostly check back on boards like this, I believe. Pocket 8 somewhat middling, gonna check back with the overall frequency. So probably gonna bet that one, I don't know, third of the time in theories. It's versus small one as well, shit, I missed that. I probably want to check back even more. Can fire up for thin value here, I think. He's still going to have strong hands there, so I don't want to like overextend into that. I'm going to be rarely using B33 in position from the turn onwards, but this is going to be an exception when there's hyperpolarization within this range. Not a whole lot of medium strength stuff, and he can have some nutted hands, so especially when we want to be betting for thin value with hands like this, you want to be using small sizes. Imagine the 5-6 is pure opening with antes. Eddie Mora, how are you? King 3 deuce rain, high frequency c-bet. Basically, probably wouldn't be range when we come from the button and we open wider. This one's gonna c-bet heaps with the gutter. One check back every now and then, but I would definitely be taking it pure if I had the read that this guy isn't gonna be check raising us enough and play weak across streets. We double gutted out, no, singular gutter, same gutter to 3 to a 7 now. Finds the donk on the 7. Not really much of a play there, mate. Not a whole lot's changed for you, but it also doesn't really make sense to bluff like this. So I think I'm gonna peel, play rivers. I think I am going to just go all in on your ass because you're clearly a weak reg if you're fighting donks. This is going to be incredibly strong. We have a good amount of value on this river. We have some good removal to it, and I think that we'll get close to a range fold when we put it in. Let's see. Continuing here with the A7 suited. Yeah, we get that through. Eat shit, lad. What's happened here? Got a limp from old mate Fishy Boy on the button and then ISO. We're going to pure 3-bet the ace jack here to probably something like this. Seems good. He'll be ISOing this guy pretty wide on that button, so we can take a lot of dead money here with a very 3-bettable hand. Now, fuck me, this guy clicks from the big blind. How can we not continue? Less than 3x, ante's in there, decent enough hand, gonna play well multi-way. And the big fella's he has found this limp raise before with ace king of clubs, and he was finding like limp folds from the button. Recreational player, obviously gonna have a nutted range out of there with close to the bottom of our range. Fucking hell, lad. He's gone 2/3 pot on 8-4-6 into 2 players that are obviously going to have a lot of shit going on in this flop after like click 3-betting. This cunt's just got kings. How do we continue here? Obviously have a sick hand to continue, but we're just up against kings. They're going to face turn aggression. I'm out of there. Out of all the flops, this is not a bad one. This is up against that weak reg. We can actually mix this up for sure. Obviously we have a sick hand, but it's not like just craving all the chips in on every run out. Could have play some deception, have some flushes in that check back range. Not kill ourselves versus some of the strong hands that he clearly has after fighting from the small blind. Probably want to start icing. He still will just have strong hands. He won't have queen X. We have 9s, deuces and 5s. So I think I will mix check back, but mostly bet. Gonna pure c-bet the 8-9 here. Probably shouldn't have pure raise pre, but what can you do? Sure, we're gonna get away with it. You just snap calls. Gonna put in the double barrel versus that timing. Are you gonna snap call with all your kings? No, you probably just have fucking ace high, lad. Put him in the double barrel pretty loosely. Understanding that man usually doesn't have a strong hand. This is checked all the way down. We're gonna put in a block bet with our river queen. Always, especially with a fish in the pot and calls with all sorts of nonsense. 9-7 hearts. No good, my friend. Again, you wouldn't fucking know that we have a hand because we're in fucking Kazakhstan with our seed assignment. Alright, we're supposed to mix this one up, roll high, we're going to just see a flop. Not too bad. Can throw in the raise with the weak top pair facing a likely range bet. Can go for 2 streets also, can definitely check back. I'm going to find a raise here. I think our hand's good. Very often we can have bluffs and he can think that we've induced it with his size. I think he's going to have like a jack, like a queens very often. Thin value raise. but we can have many bluffs in this configuration, so we're going for it. Ace 4 was good, boys. Got him. I can't start stealing other punchlines, can I? You got him. Easy range C-bet. Very small size. We could have even gone smaller, given the hyperpolarization ace 8 brings down. Bit of a tongue twister, eh? Ace 8. Shit. Can barrel. Don't want to certainly have heaps of hands like this, and this leg can certainly just have all the aces. So not a spot I'm going to overextend. Sick river. I don't really expect him to find all the crazy floats for that small size out of position. So he has a very defensible range after he check calls flop. And if he hasn't check raised the appropriate amount of like ace 3 off, his range actually can be overprotected. Clear value bet here. We're only going to use B75s in a spot like this, given we capped our range on turn. Queen 10-0 under the gun, I'd imagine he's folding, even with antes. I think that the opening ranges are relatively similar. It's more the defending ranges that significantly change. What a sight. Sight for sore eyes, I tell you. Oh, come on. Come on, we're playing with antes, you fucking nits. It's Jack 7 suited on the button. It's really testing our understanding of these anti-ranges. Gonna knuckle back, hope he has a 4 out of 5. Needs to bluff that one pure, I would imagine. Clear bottom of range, he has far more value. He's in an advantageous situation for his range after he check calls and we check back. Yeah, I'd imagine that one is a pure bluff. I don't know if it's the anti-structure, but something just feels a little more lively about these games than any other site. As we'll see, we'll jump on some of these other sites where everyone has access to, and they just feel lifeless. With barely any recs around, just a bunch of shit regs folding a lot. You might be able to win small by running them over, but it is grim. It is not fun at all. Over the short sample I've put in on this site, I'm actually enjoying it. Barring the completely aid software, like let me choose my seat, guys, please. I'm gonna ramp up the aggression here versus what seems to be a tighter reg. Bobo. Sorry, Bobo, we're coming at you. 14 seems a little excessive for what we're trying to achieve versus this player. 12 probably does the job. Ramping up the aggression with an indifferent hand. You seem like you're a bitch. We're gonna come after you. Ooh, Bobo. Sticks it right back in our face. Well, shit. Is Bobo really snap finding 4-bet bluffs? He probably just has fucking jacks plus. 8-9 must be on the cusp. So like, if he's just too tight there, we must just fold. Well done, Bobo. Probably gonna just range check this one, or we'll check the 2 jacks back here because these motherfuckers are supposed to be donking lot. I guess he finds it, so next time we can actually consider betting check 2. Mostly gonna bet the king 8 here with that gutter checking back. Can go for a little bit of thin value denial, get that last street of value that we have now while the draws are still drawing. It seems like he has a very mergy range. On a brick river, I probably would have gone for that street of value, to be honest. Obviously an AIDS river, backing this one back for sure. 6-2's off. Alright, we're seeing some shit. Would have gone for another street of value on a brick river, because his range is going to be very dense in like pairs on board, which we're obviously beating. Going to check raise from time to time, mostly check calling. Lots of potential bluffs with being double flush for lots of straight draws, so certainly won't be overfolding turn. Easy to find bluffs when the board is this dynamic. I expect him to, like all of his ace kings, ace jacks with spades, his king jacks, his 8-9s, his flush draws are going to be very tempted to double go, and he actually can do this with king queen again, so very easy to continue here on turn. Fine river. Yes, he's going to have some spades. Going to be less likely to bluff random air here. So, yeah, well, we win. Cheers. Close to wrapping this 100 NL session on said site up here. It's been fun. I'm optimistic about the pool. Recs in there. The regs don't seem like they're crushes. The rake is good. We can play. Just downing the 3-bet size a little bit in this configuration because we are 3-betting a little more merged. In these later configurations, we up the polarization as we're playing flats, and we reflect that with our size. I'm going to play B60s on flop. Sometimes checking back our ace king for sure. Rolled about a 50, so I think we'll be betting it more than half the time. What have we got here? An open limp, eh? This is a nice strategy from him. Seems like a well-studied reg, this lad. He finds this like good min check raise when he wants to be check raising like 6s and stuff like that from time to time. Ace king, ace of spades. We actually can start bluffing this. I think we will do so. Again, going to be for like B60 because we want to be betting like Queens plus here, which we obviously have reasonably frequently. Close to the bottom of range. It has less equity than it seems because of the configuration and after he check raises. Okay, wrapping that 51 sesh up here on said site. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And I think it's a good place to play. Rake is good. There are wrecks about. There are whales about. They're not just, it's not just abundant. It's not like those games we saw on that other site in the last vid, but there are wrecks in the pool for sure, and the regs don't seem like they're incredibly tough. If I was up and coming, I would seriously consider this place to play for sure. Let's go jump into the 200 pool. Okay, we are firing it up here. It still seems like there's a bunch of 200 games, maybe even more 200 games than there are 100. We're on a bunch of waiting lists. We're gonna jump into a 51 game while we wait. Let's see what these games are like. The ace, the suited ace in this config. Interesting. Probably usually going to be that for a bigger size. Actually not sure what size. Really unfamiliar configuration here. Lots of medium equity. I'd imagine we want to be pushing decent hands. So I'm going to go with the bigger size. Usually betting our hand. Fortunately get it through. Tempting to just check raise. If someone's just like over c-betting here, they're going to struggle to defend correctly. But you see it half pot, which is indicative of something that isn't just a sloppy range bet. So I'll let you live, lad. I'll let you live. Hisatus. Hisatus. 5-4 off on the button. I tell you what, I don't know. Does find the dongs. We're actually going to find some raise with this hand. I think I will find it this time. Just with the call. Lots of our bluffs have just improved now, so I do think we want to frequently continue with that bottom of range hand that has some equity versus an ace. Pure bet our sixes here. Multi-way, some protection is just going to be worth more. We get to potentially knock out 4 live cards. Our hand is obviously going to mostly be good here. We've got the call up to this game. It has had plenty on the waiting list for a while. Hopefully it's a good game. Had like 9 players on the wait list. There must have been some sort of a whale getting around earlier on, and they usually clear out. Can go for the double barrel and shut down. It's pretty close. Obviously our hand will drop decently in equity after he check calls, because we see about multi-way where he's going to run into a jack or a bigger pair more often than we would have done in a single race pot. I think we're going to have the best hand pretty often now versus ace high at deuce rocket threes. So I'm going to pure go for the thin 3/4 value bet here. You can trap here with bottom fives, jack 8, etc. Mostly going to be having those showdown value hands he's hoping for us to bitch out with. 7-6 suited, 100 blinds deep I believe, 200 blinds deep. Interesting. Can go for the 4 bet at these stack depths. Not going to do it every time versus what seems to be a regular. Good looking flop for the old 7-6 of Spizzles. See what we can handle. Going to be check raising this one more often than not, I would have thought, especially versus small C bet. You come in for a 1/3, mate. I'm going to pure raise ya. Oh, he tank checks back. You have a range very littered in ace king, ace queen, maybe some weak jack X and pocket 10s. I think we're going to block incredibly often with range and hand. Horrible river card. Horrible river card for sure. Check jam is interesting because he's just not going to have a whole lot of like ace queen of clubs, ace 10 of clubs, even like ace jack of clubs. Going to have a lot of ace king. Strong player would be able to bet call very often, understanding that we have lots of like sixes, this kind of hand that we could turn into a bluff. We're not just drowning in flushes. Okay. Maybe we should consider that as well, by the way, because you can just have ace queen. This one's interesting up here. Very, very easy to overbluff this one. I think that ace 8 facing double barrel would usually fold, but because we float so wide, it's an interesting double barrel there with the ace 3. Just got all what his hand was worth. Up in the old Uzbekistan with a couple of calcs. See what we can do with them. Get it through, unfortunately. Couple of queens back to back. How's that? How is that? Pure 3 betting, a little more than 5x. I think just straight 5x first 2.5 is good. Not that it really matters. Whole 3 bet big size. Actually a pretty good board for our range, given that we have like lots of offsuit hearts, and he really doesn't. But we're going to be betting a lot. Queens with the heart, very small sizing, given how polarizing this texture is. He makes some flushes. All the suited broadways without a heart are shit. Even the pairs without a heart are pretty average. So it just reduces the amount of middle available. Therefore, you want to be using very small sizes. I don't know what's happened here. We've got a limp under the gun, do we? Or a post in between? Oh, wow. Good to see. Probably a first for the identified fish in the 200 pool, which is a little concerning. Certainly more Rex getting about in the 100 pool, which is obviously going to be the case. But you'd hope to see a couple of Rex. Regs seem a little stronger as well, to be honest. So we're not just dancing our way to the bank on, what do we say? Join the broker just yet. Good old join the brokes. I'm going to bluff river here with the 10-9. If we get the chance. Hope we get the chance. Yeah, we're going to definitely bluff river here. We can actually use a pretty sick size. I think I'm going to go for like, yeah, massive size. Really send the message home. I was trying to type something and it wouldn't let me, so hopefully this goes through. Can do this with like any sort of an ace, really. An ace is just the nuts in this configuration when it checks down like that. We're going to have far more value than him after we can continue, and we know we were potentially letting him aggress with good hands where he's always just checking back his trash and weaker stuff. So definitely a spot where I think I want to pure bluff and over bluff. I'm expecting that to get through lots. And there's the old Phil the team lad. So he seems to be quite mergy, happy to start aggressing early, which might mean his passive lines are a little unprotected. What a turn cut. The absolute dream. What an utterly dream spot this is. We're up against some sort of queen basically every time. We have perceived bluffs in range. We are going to probably make some money here, boys. Easy, easy, easy shove. I think we're going to fight back with this King 7. Aggressive reg in the big blind by the seam of things. Did we not think he was a spot at some stage? 3-betting lots. And it somewhat doesn't want to call, but seems a little too high to fold given what we're opening. Big blind finds the check raise. Fortunately didn't get called with the pocket fallers down there. In another interesting pot though, seems to be a shorter stack, eh? No, this is a deep stack 51 game, damn. Just got called up to our final 1-2 game. It's so easy to have random hearts, ain't it? They're gonna be very incentivized to want to pull this trigger. You can like easily overdo this by always going for it, having hearts and just seeing this. What a disaster river. What a fucking disaster river. 3-5. So we owned him. We definitely owned him on turn. Very, very easy to overdo that, I think, by just not slowing down on a card that is perceived to be good. Wouldn't want to play raise with second pair, wouldn't have thought. Pretty smooth call. May want to play some raise with trips. We can check back on the polarizing nature of a monotone texture, but usually going to bet. What size do we like? Probably not interested in being weak jacks, so it probably just is like good jacks and 7s and flushes. So I'm going to just go stick with the B75 check strap. Snap calls, that is a good sign. But this motherfucker's going to have like, yeah, just a jack. Why would you snap call? Kind of indicative of a weaker player, really. Like, yep, I call. Like, maybe have a think about it, lad, to not give shit away. First snap call, I actually think like over pot does incredibly well. I don't want to go massive. I'm going to just go like, not, yeah, basically full pot, just under full pot. Can have lots of potential bluffs. Do you want to not bluff catch? Call! Always betting your turn here. Well, he can definitely double trap a 5, so maybe not. On a 99, I'm going to check back. Value bet rivers, maybe catch bluffs. Note that down for sure. Snap, call, river. He's trying to slow us down, was his intention. Easy raise here with the top pair here. Very, very strong hand versus a block bet. Lots of like 7x, 3x, pocket 6s, maybe good ace highs for this size, and super nutted in this line. And we can have plenty of bluffs. Random like king high with spade that might be tempted to bluff the first to block. That is the recipe for wanting to go for thin value. Strong hand, your opponent often has worse second best stuff, and they can be suspicious of you over bluffing. Mecca of value betting, as I like to call it. Jack 10 of hearts seems like it's going to be a relatively natural check with these suits. It probably still does. We're going to 3-bet this one. good chunk of the time. Roll 14, absolutely. Regs definitely look better up here. Definitely look better. We've only been playing for half an hour, but we've just been put in more tough spots than we did across our entire time in the 51 game. Certainly noticing a jump, and I think that is a common trend. 51 to 1-2, though. The 1-2 is the start of mostly professionals that are grinding. There's a decent alley rate up for grabs that just gravitates people towards that game. Good to see a post here, though. I remember being rather surprised at how wide we're supposed to over-pure when the small blind flat, so I imagine ace-5 off, pure continues. Really up against here, Nightlight. You sleep with a Nightlight on, you complete Winston. Who else we got? Deep Riverbet. Deep Dick Riverbet. Alright mate, each their own. Usually c-betting this one, not c-betting range on this board, so we can play check back on a roll of 95, we'll take that delayed line. We'll mostly bet our hand on turn check 2. We have an open limp from what seems to be some random like tide of fish. C-betting this and basically pure for a small size, I would have thought. Basically pure the ace-2, so I guess you could mix in some check back. Pure calling? Pure calling, I would have thought. In a double barrel, interesting on this turn. It's a very polarizing turn. I think we should double barrel sometimes to build the pot, still get some value from Queen X. Gonna go for a size. Just a 3/4 size, I think. I'm gonna have lots of bluffs. I'm gonna be tempted to pull it through, so it's not out of this world that a queen would station. Face it, third pot. Third pot's interesting in a cold. It's a 3-bet pot. Fair enough. Lots of medium equity out there as well, so it makes some sense. Jack is an interesting turn card. We make a lot of hands, so I think that incentive to bluff goes down. They also make some hands as well, so I'm actually not gonna be thrilled to face double barrel here. You'd be like finding 9s and stuff like that. Also, quite hard to put us on like lots of air bluffs. So I think it will just check back and play rivers. Interesting facing shove. Ace King can probably just shove. It's going to be the best hand incredibly frequently, so he's called value beating. Value chopping. Don't think either of us played that hand too poorly. Probably a good mix between the two, to be honest. He's limp call, I imagine. I actually don't know where the limp raises come from. Picking up the gutter. Still with ace of diamonds. Still have a decent amount of like random Queen X. Sealed our fate. Sealed our fate, unfortunately. It's pretty hard for us to have random air. And get it through. Get it through. Me and Trixie, we're battling. Me and Trixie are in the streets here. Nice flop with the 6-5 of hearts. See what you got here, Trix. See what you bloody got. Trixie girl blue. Now, do we ever want to just play shove? Probably not. We just want to call with everything, right? If you ever have anything that's worthy of wanting to put money in, you just allow the polarization to continue. So we're just not going to play any raise. Mate, an amazing card for Trixie and her range. Should be continuing on this card incredibly frequently, pressurizing the heavy pocket pair region. I think we want to just check back with this hand pure, not wanting to get check jammed on. Unfortunate to brick off. We can definitely have a good chunk of Jack X though. So check 2, I probably will shove. Cowardly not. After we call such a big bet, yes, he's going to sometimes be trapping us here, but we're going to have a good amount of Jack X there that wants to play that line. Get it through. Sorry, Trixie girl. What's happened here? Open, I think we're going to go for the cold 4. This player was sitting out, so we're shorter handed than it seems, and they seem to be playing relatively aggressively, so we're going to go for this one. Bottom of our cold 4 range for sure. This is the guy who was playing very aggressively in spots with like thin value. Continues pure for a call. Interesting if we want to always beat our flush draw here on a section. Fair enough, he plays donks. We do actually want to play raises with this hand for sure, because the overpairs are going to want to rush money in. Probably still just small raise, given that there's going to be some polarity within both ranges. Obviously just getting it all in. First bottom 2, unfortunate. Nice hand. Nice hand. Hill team seems like a well played hand. Decent suits here. I want to mostly see bet this combo, I think. 60% is our size here. Pushing advantage we have on the bigger pairs. Lots of medium equity they can have in a size and worse pairs that we usually have. Again, we should be able to double barrel this and put a good amount of pressure on like 7s through 8s. Good suits. Almost all suits are good suits though. Still a shitload of fucking 7, like call folds and like 8s through jacks. River completes. I think I'm going to put it in. We can still shove aces and kings here. Obviously make some flushes and some 5x. Get it through. Let's go. Sorry, Trixie, we're going to win another big pot against you. You lovely, lovely girl. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. I'm actually going to pure check raise this because I think people will see bet range and then not find the necessary low EV barrels on an ace-high board. This sounds like a good size. He's continue with the ace-5 of clubs versus this man who likes to go thin. Probably just very air-driven when he checks back turn. And this is obviously a polarizing card, so we can definitely just check back. He's all in. There's lots of ace-king and whatnot in range. Sorry, Trixie girl, we got it. You're dead from the word go, my friend. Dead as a nail. It's actually my first time properly using PT4, funnily enough, so I'm getting used to a lot of software here, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna have to, again, bear with me. I've just figured out that we can tag the HUD profiles, which will be much better at identifying players behind. Sometimes bluffing the ace-10 up here, not this time. Placing big size on ace-6 deuce, not much of a play. Fuck all medium equity. It kind of tells me this guy isn't a good pro. Kind of just an objectively bad play. Probably can just fold turn though. It's just going to be an equity dense range, isn't it? More likely to be ace king, sixes and deuces than it is to be like random fucking jack 10 and stuff. I think I'm just off it. I think I just should just fold the turn. Actually a little grim facing a double barrel from a nit here, but it's a very wide configuration. They've had the ball in their court, meaning their range is unfiltered, so they can find bluffs. Can't fold a winning bluff catch like this just yet. On this river, I think I will fold. I think Trixie here will be apprehensive to bluff on a river that obviously gives us so many strong hands. In those scenarios, weak regs will usually just be trying to cool you, not trying to bluff you. God, it makes it a lot easier to see the quality of pool when you get these tags right. It's annoying that I've just got that right at this point in the session. I'm actually going to pure 4-bet this one versus a weaker reg who's going to be 3-betting a fine range, but is probably going to be not willing to fight for the extra chips once we 4-bet. Watch it blow up in my face, but I think it's a good play. Oh no. We probably saved ourselves money, but I'm confident that that's a good play. Identified weaker reg who's going to be 3-betting enough hands, and then he's going to be put in a position where they're going to have to play for all the chips with uncomfortable regions that they probably don't want to. Poorly worded, but I know what I'm talking about. Fish, when they check back, I'm just going to be very, very weak. I want to just go bet here every single time. I think I actually might just go all in. Can just have 5-4 off though, shit. I think I'm going to either go really small or really big. Fold out like random floats, ace highs and stuff. I think we might start to wrap it up. We're basically leading range on a turn like this after the 3-better checks back. Especially with the hand like pocket fives, that craves this thin value / denial. Small betting trying to get my worst ace highs and king highs to float versus a fish. Horrible river, obviously. His range is basically ace high face up. Wonder how much credit we get here. We just shove it in. I'd imagine a lot. Especially with the snap timing. Fold! Ew. Wrapping up this 200 sesh. It's definitely tougher, but not grim. Not completely grim. The longer I played, the more I felt pretty comfortable. Definitely some weaker regs in there giving away information that you can run over, and a couple of stronger regs that don't seem like absolute crushers. See some of these stats that they're running, 24-20. It's like very standard old school stars rather than adapting the fact that there's an ante in play. Pretty confident that the game is well beatable if you put the work in. Absolutely optimistic. I'm actually going to put volume in myself on this site in the future, I think. Besides the kind of ADSy software, I really enjoyed the wider ranges you have to play with that ante, and yeah, had a lot of fun, so I'll be back for sure. Wrapping up this first site, join the broker. We're going to go through a little review, which I'll break down the system in a second. Obviously keeping an eye out for these first 4 factors that we identified. Rake, as I said earlier, I don't think we're going to be able to beat this. From my brief understanding of online rake, this is the cream of the crop. Kudos to this site, giving players a chance to win, solid rake back, very reasonable rake caps across all stakes, 4.5 out of 5. 205. As I said, I'm not sure if we can beat this. The losing players. The site wasn't just filled with wrecks. It wasn't akin to those 50, 100 games we saw last week. But I've seen worse. There were some whales out there, more so within the 100 games. But even within the 200 games, there was a wreck or two. It wasn't the Sahara Desert like it can be on some other open source sites, as we'll probably see in later reviews. 3 out of 5. Winning players, again, I think a little above average. The stronger players certainly weren't world crushers putting you in spots left and right. There are a bunch of nit regs in anti-games, which is on the surface seems amazing for win rate. Of course, it got a little tougher at the 200 games, but that is simply the reality. Site conditions. I'm only giving this a 2 out of 5 just because the software was annoying. I'm not sure about their security conditions. I'd have to do some research on that. It certainly didn't seem like they were bot filled. We opened SAT and didn't get swarmed upon like we would do if there were plenty of bots getting around. So the security seems fine. The software was just annoying. You can't choose your preferred seat. It was tough to know when the action was on me. There is a bunch of things that were a little bit annoying in that regard, but as we'll see here, we're going to weight these factors. Obviously, site conditions is pulling the biggest weight of how it's going to affect where we're playing. The rake and the losing players, certainly the most influential considerations as to where we're going to put our time. This comes out to a 3.4 out of 5. Certainly an above average place to play. My first time playing on the site, I had fun. I won some money, and I'm confident that you guys could put in the work and grind a win rate on this site for sure. I had planned on reviewing a couple of different sites in this first sesh, but time got away from me, and I think there's a bunch of good content just across those two pools. So I'm going to split this video up into a few parts. Stay tuned, I'll see you there.